Hello everyone, this is ArdentVitalGamer. Let's review Fur Fighters Rico's Revenge for the PlayStation 2. Before I dive into this gun-slinging, cute and cuddly game review, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you could be a part of the Ardent Vital Nation. And in addition, don't forget to click that notification bell so you'll be notified of all the upcoming ArdentVitalGamer videos. Now then, let's review Fur Fighters Rico's Revenge. This game was developed in 2001 by the developer Bizarre Creations. The genre that would best describe Fur Fighter would be a third-person shooter, except you're basically a bunch of cute and cuddly animals armed to the teeth with dangerous firepower. The premise in the story is that the evil General Rico has kidnapped the families of the Fur Fighter heroes and mutated their spouses into biologically, diabolically evil enemies, and at the same time held all their little kids and babies hostage. And as you are controlling the Fur Fighters, you have to rescue their spouses and save their kids. In this game, you get to play as 6 operatives who are members of the Fur Fighter organization. The first one is Rufus the Hound Dog. Rufus is from Glasgow, Scotland, and he's also the main field leader for the Fur Fighters. Rufus's special ability is the ability to burrow, because he's a dog, so he can burrow underground through holes to appear out in different locations in a level. The second operative you can play as is named Chang the Firefox, or you can also say a red panda. He is an operative from Hong Kong, and his area of expertise is more towards the scientific technology side in weaponry and combat. His special ability is squeezing through tight holes within a level. The third member of the Fur Fighter is Juliette the Pussycat. Juliette is our French operative whose specialty is more on the side of infiltration, and her special ability within the level is her ability to climb objects because she's a pussycat. The fourth operative is Rico the Rockhopper penguin from Argentina. Rico here is also a weapon specialist like most of his teammates, and I bet he would have been the penguins of Madagascar who were trying to recruit, but he couldn't get that Rico. Just have to sell with another Rico instead. Rico's special ability within the Fur Fighter is his ability to swim more effectively since he's a penguin. The fifth operative of the Fur Fighter is Bungalow the kangaroo from down under in Australia. Bungalow's a more laid-back operative, and his special ability is high jumping, as since he's a kangaroo, he has strong leg muscles, so he can jump higher than the other operatives. The last operative on the team is Tweak the Dragon, the land of Wales. Yes, I said dragon. Surprise! He's not a type of normal animal like the rest of the Fur Fighters, but they have a dragon on their team. And Tweak's special ability is his ability to glide because he has wings of a dragon. In this game, you get to explore 7 different worlds, including the starting home world that you're based out of. And within these worlds, there are also sub-areas that you can explore as well in order to complete the entire world. These worlds are the village, which is the home of the Fur Fighters. The Fur Fighters live and also spend their time recuperating from missions around the world. The next world is New Quack City, which you can tell by the name is a play on of New York City. The next world is Beaver Power, which is a world that's pretty much like its name says, owned and ruled by beavers. The next world is Cape Canardo. This is the outer space level where the Fur Fighters will have to go fight General Rico in addition to saving some of their family members as well. The next world is Dinotopolis, which is a play on with Metropolis, except in this case, it's filled with dinosaurs. The next world is called Anatat Tataneta, which is basically an idea of a hidden kingdom in the jungle, like one of those lost Mayan civilization type worlds that General Rico also went to, and the Fur Fighters have to chase him there as well. The last world is called Vigo a Go-Go, which is pretty much the final world in this game and also the world that basically is General Vigo's aircraft carrier, where the fur fighters will have to go fight him and end it once and for all. You might be wondering, how do we unlock new hubs and areas? Easy. The solution is with gold tokens that you could find within the existing worlds that you are presently in. In this game, gold tokens symbolizes the keys to opening new worlds. Like if you watch my SpongeBob SquarePants review, it's like in that game, golden spatulas are the keys to unlocking new worlds. In Fur Fighters, the keys to opening new worlds are gold tokens. Of course, after collecting these gold tokens and returning to an previous level, you could still collect the replacing silver tokens during a level, as it provides some temporary needed health if your hit points are going down. You could also get healed by cans of food in the battlefield, which restores your hit points greater than the tokens that you'll find. An item of interest to pay attention to while playing for the levels is teleporters. These green icons will show a picture of a fur fighter operative on it, and if you go into that teleporter, you could switch operatives out if you feel like you need a certain operative for a certain area or for a certain task. Next, I want to discuss the type of weapons you get in Fur Fighters to use during the levels. At the start of the game, you will only start with a pistol, what each Fur Fighter will get, and if they run out of bullets for that pistol, they have to resort to melee attacks. As you progress through the game, you will encounter more types of firearms to use to help make your life a little bit easier. And during your travels, you will encounter multiple variants of specific weapon class so that you can upgrade and have a bigger arsenal of weapons to use, as these weapons are categorized based on the type of bullets they use in that weapon. Of course, there are a few weapons I think are worth mentioning, or I just kind of like them because they look interesting overall. One of these weapons is the shotgun. You might be wondering, what makes this shotgun unique? Or why did I pick something so generic? Don't worry. The shotgun in this game does have a slightly unique ability that most of the other weapons don't have, is that it's one of the few weapons that allows you to perform headshots where you blow the enemy's head clean off, and you can use their head as a soccer ball just for kicks. And of course, in accordance with how shotguns work, in this case, you have to be up close with the enemy in order to maximize the area of effect for the damage. So don't think that just because this is a classic childish game that you can just stand far away and still have the same type of damage if you were up close. The other weapon I want to discuss is the rocket launcher. This green tube with an ammo clip attached to it does provide great explosive effect when you're fighting enemies, because a lot of enemies I discovered can be wiped out quickly with one blast. These only apply to regular grunts. A couple of the enemies do take a little bit longer to kill, but overall, hey, still good blasting effect. After all, you can just go boom, boom, boom. And of course, one of the unique things about these weapons in this game is that there's really no reload function. So technically, if you have 100 rockets, you can fire 100 rockets straight without having to reload. Of course, in the battlefield, you can find more ammo for your weapons by either finding ammo boxes for those specific weapons or taking the weapons from the enemy's cold dead paws. Do note though, every weapon does have a limit to how many bullets you could carry for that specific weapon, so you cannot technically get 999 bullets. In this game, the way you rescue the babies of the fur fighter isn't exactly easy, as most of the babies are usually trapped in some unusual situation because General Vigo is an evil animal, so that the only way to rescue them is to basically solve puzzles, as that's how most of these babies are trapped. For instance, in one area, in order to rescue one of the fur fighter babies, they're trapped behind a laser field, in which if you were to touch that laser field, turn guns are going to come out and mow you down, in which you had to figure out a way to basically get through the laser using glass objects. Another example of another fur fighter baby being trapped is, this fur fighter baby is trapped inside a glass box that's surrounded by bowling pins, in which case you had to find a way to knock these bowling pins down in order to break that glass, which, of course, you need to be willing to keep your eyes open and go explore the levels, as most of these puzzles are more of those out-of-the-box type scenarios, such as for those bowling pins. Obviously, if you think about logic, when you play bowling, you need a bowling ball to knock the pins down, and since you're stuck in this museum, there's obviously going to be no bowling ball lying around. So the next best thing you think of is explore and realize, wait a minute, there is a whole planetarium area inside this museum. Some of those planets look like balls. Why don't we knock a ball down, then roll the way down and knock the pins out? Overall, what I'm trying to say is, in this game, if you want to rescue as many of the fur fire babies, you pretty much have to use unconventional logic. You play by the rules, it ain't gonna work. Wait, there's more. Even if you were to be able to free these fur fire babies, here's a catch. Each fur fire baby will only go with their parents in order to be evacuated. So for instance, if you basically as playing as Rufus the dog and you try to rescue a baby dragon, unfortunately the baby dragon won't go with you even though technically you're a friend. These fur fire babies don't technically go with strangers. So you have to find the right family member to go with that person. So Rufus would be in charge of puppies, Chang will be able to rescue the fire foxes, Juliette will rescue the cats, Rico will rescue the penguin kids, Bungalow will rescue the kangaroo kids, and Tweak will rescue dragons. You can't mix or match, you have to stick to that rule. It will require you to do a lot of switching in and out. Overall, I have to say this game is kind of unique in its way at the time it was made, because after all, not only are there 8 different types of control options for the player to pick depending on their playstyle, you could also enjoy other aspects such as not only the diverse cast of characters you have, this game encourages replay value as some of the cutscenes in the game will have different interactions based on the fur fire you utilize. So if you go back with a different character, you get a different interaction. In addition, this game also has a 4-player multiplayer function mode. And in addition, the puzzles are just so unique and diverse. Like, it's clever is what I'm trying to say. Of course, there are a couple of areas I felt the game could have been slightly better on, such as maybe it's just because of the time when the system was created, but I noticed while I was playing, I can't use the right analog stick to steer my camera. I had to basically use the left analog stick to rotate the camera and also to move the fur fire, which I felt was a little bit challenging because I'm more used to the right analog stick to be viewing to help you to rotate the camera, look around, and the left to move. So in this case, I felt the controller is a bit more like a tank controller, and it's not exactly what I'm fond of, especially when you're playing a platformer. In addition, in some parts of the level, I keep hearing the enemies doing their evil taunts and laugh, but the enemy's not exactly there. Well, on one hand, it's great if you want to prepare for something just in case there's an enemy nearby. At the same time, I felt like it was a little bit repetitive. I keep hearing the enemy talk, but I can't seem to locate where the enemy are. Only to later learn they're really far away, but for some reason, their voice echoes all the way to me, which causes some confusion as I try to hunt down the enemies. I realize, oh great, they're really far away. Of course, there's also the aspect with the save. In this game, you can only save the game when you switch fur fighter operatives out. There's no option for you to click save in the middle of the gameplay, which could work against you and bite you in the buttocks if basically you just accomplish something and then suddenly your character dies. Surprise! You have to load the game from your last save point where you last swap a fur fighter, in which case you basically lose all the tokens and have to redo what you had to do. So in some parts, it's great if you can keep constantly save while switching fur fire, but at times in some parts, it can work against you like a double-edged sword because you complete a class, but there's no teleport to swap fur fires out, and you're pretty much screwed. Aside from these minor things I'm not really a fan of, but still, the game is still playable in my opinion. It has the interesting concept of a story combined with the puzzles, especially the puzzles. The puzzles are very creative. It basically helps you expand your way of thinking. If you're a little kid, you pretty much can just use your imagination and figure out, oh, how should I address this? It allows that cleverness to come out of you and helps expand your mind in the critical thinking aspect as you have to think outside the box. So it's still a very playable game overall, in my opinion. Do note though, half the things I've done in this game is by trial and error, and most of the time, I will admit, I died a lot because I wasn't aware of what I had to do, and basically, just do note, you basically have to experiment and just try again. In the end, this game is still an interesting gem for the PlayStation 2. It's still fun to play, so if you have a chance to find this game, I recommend getting it because it's fun, corny, and plus, it brings back some of the classics of the turn of the century for the PlayStation 2. Thank you for watching my game review of Fur Fighters for the PlayStation 2. Let's take a break for now and come back next time for more exciting Ardent Vital Gamer videos. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe so that you become a part of the Ardent Vital Nation. Leave a like and comment on this video and share this video with your friends. Take care for now. Thank you.